So we'll see what this becomes. Strong and cool. It's scheduled for 8:30. Hello guys, my name is Tariq, and I hope to document the process of building something, particularly building/laying the foundation for a company. I've been working with one of my closest friends, my co-founder, and we've been trying to effectively lay the foundation for this company that we hope to build. Last time we spoke, we were talking about how we feel it makes a lot of sense to start with software development, and we kind of want to just use that as our space to just learn to operate and run a business, but also use it to perhaps generate some capital so that we can get into other stuff that we hope to build. But I want to emphasize this idea of building something, not simply just building something for the sake of building something, but really building with passion and purpose, and by the grace of God, seeing what that becomes. To give you guys some context, so we've been working on it while we've been preparing for our A-levels. Right now we're just approaching public exam season, and we put a few things on hold, but I guess after our exams we really hope to kind of document like the back end of what we're working on, and I think that could be quite interesting. Just having you guys kind of involved in what we're building, and I really can't wait to start talking about this first project we've been working on. And I think that's that. And now my second point, the more important one, I also want to talk about something that I learned when I was Bible studying. I feel like a lot of people get switched off when they hear people start talking about God, but I really don't think faith in God has to be like this irrational thing. I think it requires constant evaluation, and whenever I speak to people, whenever I speak to my friends, I always emphasize the importance of, or I always suggest that they read their Bible, just applying your critical thinking to this text, and just seeing where that leads you, and just coming to this your own independent judgment. And I want to tell you about, what I feel is a very important learning point. So reading the Bible, so reading the Bible, I find that, you find that God effectively becomes flesh, and like reading in context, you understand why it's to work on this fundamental issue. He's working to bridge the gap between God and man. Obviously, you see what happens in Genesis. And, I remember when I was reading, I guess I kind of wondered how come when God became flesh, he didn't work on every issue humanity faces. How come he didn't make it that nobody would ever go hungry again? And I guess the conclusion that I came to was, just the importance of seeing what he did and what he focused on. When Jesus, was operating, he was very focused on his mission. And you see that Jesus, through, his death and his resurrection, he bridges that gap between God and humanity. And what I found is, it's in that bridged gap that really would get rid of a lot of the other problems like humanity faces. Bridging that gap between God and humanity. And so the conclusion that I came to, was, for a person that, for anybody that I guess wants to live a life which, which pleases God, a life of significance, it would also be to work on that fundamental issue, that same issue that God worked on when he became man. And that's bridging the gap between God and humanity. But what you find is God has already done the heavy lifting. Again, through the crucifixion, through the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, he's already paid the price. And so I feel that the most significant thing that I can do is point to Christ, reflect Christ in everything I do, and work on that fundamental issue of bridging the gap between God and humanity. And I think I can best do that through showing people that Jesus Christ is that bridge. But again, I really encourage just critical thinking, constant evaluation of everything you do. That's something I really admire. Thinking about everything. Again, when you're building something, really thinking about why you're building, who's the person you want to help, just being very aware. And the same principle I think you want to apply to everything, but you also apply to, faith in God. Really thinking about it, really applying that critical analysis and coming to your own independent conclusion. But I hope to catch you guys soon. I think it might be after exam season, but yeah, can't wait to start talking about that, and all for the glory of Christ Jesus. I'll catch you guys in a bit.